Good morning everybody. In this video, I discuss about the spherical aberration. To understand spherical aberration, let us first understand what is lens aberration. We know that according to the simple theory of formation of images by lenses, whenever parallel beam of light incidents on either on convex lens or on concave lens, all the rays are brought to focus at point known as focal point. This is true when the aperture is small. As the lens have wide application, that is, they are used in optical instruments with large apertures also. In such cases, the rays from point of axis, that is, point of axis means the rays away from the principal axis, do not meet at a single point after refraction through the lens. Also, the refractive index of the material of the lens and hence its focal length varies with the wavelength of light. Thus, when white light is used, different colored images are going to form at different points along the principal axis with a different sizes. That means we will not get an image exactly at one particular point and it is not well defined also, or okay, so we'll get different sized images along the length for a definite distance here. So thus this type of defects arise due to the lenses, that is image formed by the lenses are known as lens aberrations. Okay, so there are two type of lens aberration. The one is the chromatic aberration, the other one is the monochromatic aberration. The chromatic aberration arises due to the variation of the refractive index of the material with the wavelength are known as chromatic aberration, while all other aberrations, even when monochromatic light means the light which is having a single wavelength, that is used, then also the lens will produce or gives rise to a defects known as monochromatic aberration. There are five types of monochromatic aberrations, namely spherical aberration, coma, astigmatism, curvature of field, and distortion. So now I will discuss only about the spherical aberration. So let us consider a point object situated on the principal axis of the lens with a larger aperture. A monochromatic light is made to incident on the point object. The light after refracting through the lens will not meet at a single point as shown in the diagram. Just you see, these rays, the rays which are close to the axis are referred as paraxial rays. The rays which are exterior or point of axis, or we can say they are incidenting at the exterior position of the lenses, are referred usually as a marginal rays. Okay, the paraxial rays comes to brought to focus at a point IP, whereas the marginal rays are brought to focus at a point IM here. So this is clearly indicating that the image is not formed at a single point and it is not well defined. Okay, so what we expect here, if the object is point object, the image also must be point object, but we are not getting a point object. Instead of that, the image is spreading over a length of the certain region here. When a screen is held perpendicular to the incident light or the principal axis here, the image formed on the screen is looking like a circular patch. I'll show in this one. See here, this is the point object we have used here. After refracting through the lens, we are getting a image, that is the image is due to the point object, we are getting a circular patch. That clearly indicates that a well-defined image is not formed on the screen here. Let me go back to the diagram again. So say the circular patch is around the diameter AB. Okay. At one particular position of the screen between IM and IP here, the diameter of the circular patch is least. That position at which the diameter of the patch is least is known as circle of least confusion. If the screen is either moved towards IM or it is moved towards IP, the diameter of the patch increases. Therefore, the position of the screen at which the diameter of the patch is very least or small, say AB, is known as circle of least confusion. Okay, so this phenomena is known as the spherical aberration. Okay, so the distance between IM and IP is referred as longitudinal spherical aberration, and the radius, so this distance I can say here according to the diagram, the radius of the circular patch will give you the lateral spherical aberration. Okay, so how to minimize the spherical aberration? The defect produced by the lens due to the monochromatic light can be minimized. This can be minimized using the stops here. I have mentioned some of the methods which are used to minimize the spherical aberration here. The spherical aberration are minimized using stops, or else you can also use a plano-convex lenses in addition with the lens you are using of a larger aperture. Even for the stops also used for the what the lens you are using for the observing a image, for that you can make use of stops here. Along with the lens used, the plano-convex lenses can be used here, and cross lenses also used for minimizing a spherical aberration, and also the combination of two planar convex lenses separated by a distance, and also a combination of convex and a concave lenses. We know that the effect produced by the convex lens is exactly opposite that of the concave lenses here. Therefore, the combination of these two can be used to nullify the effect produced by the lenses here. Therefore, in order to minimize the spherical aberration, the combination of convex and concave lenses can also be used here. These are the few methods to minimize the spherical aberration. Now I'll just show you the diagram how the stops are used to minimize the spherical aberration. Here is a lens here, as I explained in the previous diagram, that we have both paraxial rays as well as marginal rays here. In order to minimize the spherical aberration, either you have to block the paraxial rays or you can block the marginal rays here. And this is the diagram is showing that we are blocking the paraxial rays, allowing only the marginal rays to refract through this lens, so that the image formed is well defined and it is forming at a single point. So this is the method we can say by using the stop one can minimize the spherical aberration. Here the diagram is referring that the stops are used to block the marginal rays. Just you see here, diaphragms are used to block the marginal rays. Only the paraxial rays are allowed to refract through the lens here. Therefore, again in this case also, the image is formed at a single point, so that we will get a well-defined image. Therefore, one can conclude in this explanation that no lens will be without aberration. Okay, no lens can be found without aberration. Every lenses will produce this defects here, either due to a chromatic aberration or due to a monochromatic aberration. They will produce a defects here. But the thing is, while they are used in a optical instruments, the correction is done to that aberrations produced by the lenses, and they are used in the optical instruments. So in the case of spherical aberration, I have shown you just a one diagram. Like that, we can use the other methods also, as I mentioned in the description here, by plano-convex lenses or crossed lenses or combination of plano-convex lenses separated by a distance, and the combination of convex and a concave lenses. This is all about the spherical aberration. Thank you.